Okay, people. So, The Glorious Ones is the new film from Somina Fombo. Um, she also goes by Mina, right? Yeah, the gist of it is that several generations of queer and lesbian black women and non-binary folk shared their glorious moments, right? It's essentially it's a documentary talking about, you know, how they navigated the world essentially, right? It's split into, or I believe it's three parts, right? We have in the beginning. um so they talk about growing up and life and all of that. Then the glorious moment, right? Kind of is kind of when they came out, or when they realized or accepted who they were, right? And then it ends with looking forward. So we have these three kind of moments. And so there is this group of women. Um, Now, believe we've got Yvonne Taylor, Linda Devo, Peter, um, er, I'm not sure, Shittingford, um, Louise Nat Wirendo, um, Not Wandel Lembedo, Sharifa Whitney James, and El Mbegno. I feel that's the women that were talking, but yeah, they're not listed. God, it is that frustrating thing sometimes. As I said, when it comes to the festivals, the short films, you don't always get, I mean, the full information of who was involved and who helped create and all of that, which is a shame. It's definitely a shame. But yeah, so we jump between all of these women like talking and going into, this was me growing up, and we lived here, we grew up in this situation, the school was like this, and so it's just this kind of oral history essentially, you know what I mean? Which is yeah, it's fine. Now, I did think that a lot, I mean, most of them, they're now obviously when you say they're all the same, but it's not, it's like, you put everyone together and it's like, yeah, there's no gaps or anything like that. No. But all of their experiences kind of mirrored each other. And it's just things like, oh yeah, I hated wearing a dress. Right? When I know plenty of, lesbian, queer women, right? Who like wearing dresses. So it's just a bit like, it would have been nice to get more of a cross section, you know? Like I wonder how these women were chosen for the piece, you know? It maybe it was just random, right? And just, yeah, so randomly these women, again, had similar experiences, but who knows? But yeah, it would have been interesting to get a bit more of a mixture, because yeah, everyone had like stories of, oh, yeah, my parents didn't know, and blah, blah, blah. But I imagine that, and I've definitely heard, right, where people go, yeah, my parents knew, right? So when I was coming out, they're like, don't worry, we know, it's fine, we love you, blah. You know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah, everyone has a different experience, a different way of navigating these things, but some are vastly different than the slight differences of some others. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's 23 minutes, so it's not long or anything like that. it is, you know, interesting. It's always interesting to hear about someone navigating life, you know? So it's like sometimes there's facts that you think, oh, why didn't they kind of go further on that? Like, I think it was Devo, right? She's talking, she's like, oh yeah, when I was 16, I had a baby. And it's just like, okay, right? So are we gonna explore that? Right? And it's not like, oh, you can't have a baby, but it's just like, okay, so you know, were you you know what I mean? Did you hook up with a guy because you weren't sure? Or you were like hoping to change? Or like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the question. It's not like, ooh, you can't have a baby. That's disgusting. No, it's just like, how did that come about? And obviously, I know how babies came about, people. The stalk comes, right? But no, as I said, it's just like, because, you know, the way she's talking, it's kind of like she knew all the time, you know what I mean, that she essentially just like girls. But it's like, okay, so, you know, and I think in other shorts and films and stuff, people have often said that, you know, I've had all these thoughts as a youngster, and I was just trying to push them down, right? I was trying to run away from them. I didn't want to be that, but that's who I was, you know. So eventually, it did come out. So it's just like, yo, was that your experience? Like, what was the thing, right? So it would have been interesting at times for more to be done, right? For Mina to push for more, you know, with the questionings. But yeah, it's still interesting, people. So yeah, if you see it, you might want to check out the glorious ones.